Well, there's a new strain of COVID that is being called highly infectious. It is NB.1.8.1. You may have seen these headlines saying that they are highly infectious, but in fact, there has been cases observed in New York, but it's not even on the CDC's strain tracker yet. So we don't have enough yet. They're just telling us that it's highly infectious. Do we need to panic? Well, according to the World Health Organization, we do not. This analysis, which I linked you in the newsletter today, if you're subscribed to the newsletter, I hope you are, it's free, shows that the WHO's own reporting is that the severity of this strain is low.
If you've ever had a cup of coffee that makes you feel younger, more alive, well, that's where you go for 1775's Rejuvenate coffee. It's a bold dark roast infused with KAAKG. That's the same compound studied to reverse biological age by up to 8 years. You guys, it fuels your cells, sharpens your minds, and supports long-term strength, all without popping a cabinet full of supplements or drinking swamp water in a bottle. This isn't junk lab. It's not a mystery blend. It's just real single origin, small batch coffee that will make you go boy-oy-oing, which is what you buy coffee for, isn't it? Well, here's the best part. When you buy 1775 coffee, you're backing free speech, freedom of choice, and a company that backs the same creative values that we do here on Redacted. So no corporate overlords, just some products made for people who really believe in something real and want to add something to the economy. So go to 1775coffee.com, grab their anti-aging longevity roast, use the code Redacted, and you'll get 15% off. So feel sharper, stronger, younger, and know that you're fueling the companies that give a damn about your health and freedom. That's 1775coffee.com/redacted. Use the code Redacted.
Now, notice they say that the COVID vaccine is expected to work against this new strain. Well, how do they know that? Since it's so new and the current vaccine on the market is against previous strains, they don't. They only are surmising that it could work because they have seen it in mice. So what they're saying here is that mice who had the COVID vaccine saw, quote, similar or modestly lower neutralizing antibodies against NB.1.8.1. Okay, these are the kind of science metrics that we should no longer accept, because throughout the whole pandemic, we were told that things were kind of sort of good, that it's similar or modest or, probably it gives some protection against the new strains. They don't know. There's no way that they could have tested that. We should now demand real numbers that the vaccine is tested against this strain and has shown X% fewer COVID cases, hospitalizations, severe infection, all of that. That's what we should demand now. And that's what HHS Secretary Kennedy has said that we should be hearing from now on, because they've promised us that all vaccines going forward will have real clinical trials with, and in fact, it was Dr. Macri who said that. So if you want to get a COVID vaccine that was made for XBB.1.5, which peaked in January of 2023, for this new strain, which is not severe, I guess you could do it if you want to. Explain to me why you would. Now, the good news is that these vaccines will no longer be pushed on children in the childhood vaccine schedule, only at the federal level. HHS Secretary RFK Jr. announced that the COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC's recommended immunization schedule. But that doesn't mean that your local school district won't push it on your children. They still might, because those requirements are up to the state. So each state will have to take this federal mandate and decide for themselves. And each state can say, no, we still want the COVID vaccine. They could, in theory, do that. And then it would be up to you to decide whether or not to push that on your child. Here is HHS Secretary Kennedy announcing this just on Tuesday.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary, and I'm here today with NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya and FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary. I couldn't be more pleased to announce that as of today, the COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule. Last year, the Biden administration urged healthy children to get yet another COVID shot despite the lack of any clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children.
That ends today. It's common sense and it's good science. There's no evidence healthy kids need it today, and most countries have stopped recommending it for children.
We're now one step closer to realizing President Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
Someone in the chat says that this is still on 6 things to know about COVID-19 vaccinations for children, like that there are still things on the website about COVID-19 vaccinations for children on CDC's website.
Yes, and you have to know how to speak CDC to extrapolate what they know and what they don't know. And so thankfully I've become an expert in that since the pandemic, because I'm like,
CDC.
Okay, they're saying it may kind of sort of provide some protection, right? But they can't tell you they know that it does, because they don't. He was absolutely right when he said there was no clinical trials on any children under 12. And in fact, it was authorized in 2023 for young children based on extrapolated data. We showed you that at length in 2023. We showed you that they said probably from the original clinical trials of the original COVID vaccine, probably this one will work in practice the same. They never knew. So again, at the very least, it won't be pushed on children. You may still be asked for it in your state. There are ways to, push back on that. You'll have to educate yourself on your own state. But the United States was one of the few holdouts still pushing this on children. They won't anymore. So I do expect, though, that the hysteria around NB.1.8.1 will increase. You've been warned. You've been prepared, and you've been shown that the original assessment through the CDC and through the WHO is that it is not a severe strain. It is just highly infectious.